All right, folks. Welcome to the Shoop Sports first ever live stream of what I call Bet O'Clock, which is the prime time right before our evening game start. It is 6:30 Eastern. I'm gonna close my door 1 second. All right. So this is going to be my first ever actual sports betting video on this channel. So I figure I give you a little bit of background about myself as a sports bettor. Uh, this is a method that I discovered about a year ago that initially produced great results for me. And the method was so powerful that I pretty much spent all my money betting and ended up losing it all in the end. Took about a year off, got back into this strategy, started just experimenting with it again. But what I had discovered this time around is discipline and strategy and basically how to build a bankroll. If you look in this right corner right here, now that is my FanDuel balance, and that was $1,000 about 3 weeks ago. What happened between these last 3 weeks that made me go up almost 35 units? Well, it's what I'm going to show you today, and it's the only way that you should be betting on the NBA, point blank, period. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you exactly through everything that I do when it comes to placing bets. Now, I've never live streamed before, so my speed isn't going to be the same as it was, but here we are. So here we are on FanDuel, and we're going to just concentrate on the NBA for now. I love slates like this because we have many games tonight. We got some 7 o'clock, 7:40, 8:10, 8:40, 9:10, 10:10, couple 10:10s. And right now is when people are realizing, or people are getting home from work, they're eating dinner, and they're looking at the slate for tonight, and they're going to start to place some bets. Why does this matter? Well, the more people that are placing bets, the more likely we're going to see shifts in odds movements because we have more people betting, more money going in. More money means more swings of the odds. So we have a chance to catch some good odds right here. So let me show you all my tools. So obviously we have FanDuel right here, our betting tool. I call it the money machine because boop, boop, money printer go boop. Right here, this is Pinnacle. Pinnacle, what makes Pinnacle so great is it's a sports book that's all about getting the right information. And that means the right prices on their betting lines. So you see how much closer these odds are. Well, it means Pinnacle is very confident in their prices with the VIGs that they are charging. Most sports books charge VIGs like -110 and -110. Well, essentially what Pinnacle does is they pay for information. They allow bets of any size on their platform because they want to know what the best possible odds are. So what we're getting here is the most accurate odds, and it's going to be what we compare every single bet that we place to. And in order for the bet to be a good bet, we will check the line on Pinnacle. So, for example, the Pistons are a 3-point favorite over the Trailblazers. And that line's at -102 and -108. If I want to see what number I need to beat to make it a profitable bet, I'm going to go to my NoVig Fair Odds Calculator, which you can get on the website OddsJam, which I highly recommend their service as well. But right now, I'm showing you how to do it without paying for their service. So I think that's value in itself. But anyway, a lot of great tools that they have. Did not mean to mute there. So let's see, -102, -108. So what this is doing is it's taking out the percentage that the sportsbook automatically charges. So sportsbooks got to make money somehow, so they charge a little bit of juice on their bets, so they guarantee that they make some money in the end. That's how they win. That's how they become super, super rich, these sportsbooks, and that's how most sports bettors lose money. So anyway, we see these odds right here. Essentially what this means, so this tells us the percentage, the likeliness that this bet will actually hit according to these odds, and what the odds translate to with the percentages into fair odds. So if there was no VIG involved, if it was a true fair odds, and this is what we would get. Now, let's say we look at this bet and somewhere on one sports book, we see that the Pistons are minus 110. We want to compare it to this minus 108. Well, what we're going to do is first, we're going to, let's delete this, say $100 is our bet size. We're going to say the odds are minus 110. We're going to take this. We see that the odds for this are 50.70. So we're going to type it into win probability and expected value of -3. Well, this is where the issue comes with most bets. Most bets have a negative expected value. Essentially, if you were to place this bet 100 times, you would expect in the long run to lose $3, which means that you could win this bet. You could also lose this bet. But more often than not, you're going to lose this bet. And if you continue to keep betting bets like these, then this is the amount on average that you would be at after 100 bets. We want to be above this number. So let's say instead we got this same spread, but some sportsbook prices it at plus 105. Well, if we do that, now look at that. Now we're gaining almost $4 per bet that we make. So we want to be having as many positive expected value bets as possible. So that is exactly what my strategy is. And now let's get into it. So we're going to get into the first game. This is Trailblazers and Pistons. So we're going to click on this. And, you're like, okay, that sounds good and all. But like I'm looking on this sports book and here they are. They're priced at minus 112 here. These don't look like great odds. Where do I find these profitable bets? Well, player props are absolutely the way to go. And the nice thing about Pinnacle, if we click on this game, is they have all the player props on one page. So you don't have to scroll through a bunch of player prop pages like you do on FanDuel. You can just get everything that you need right on here. And here's what I look for. Since most odds are set at a minus 110 to minus 110 clip, I'm looking for odds just like this, where I can get a big discrepancy. Usually I look for something that's like 20 points or higher than what the odds are on the website. And if it's typically minus 110 to minus 110, then the bigger juiced ones on Pinnacle will catch my eye first. So first, let's see what happens if I take those odds and put in a no vig calculator. So basically, I'm trying to beat odds of minus 133 and try to get enough of an edge for it to be worth it. 2% of an edge is usually worth it for me. So first, we're going to go to the player assists category. Oh, and would you look at this? His under is at minus 118, but the fair odds say minus 133. So without hesitation, we're just going to place this bet with our $100 unit size. Once it verifies my location, perfect. Okay, and this is what we're doing over and over again. And for quickness sake, I'm going to try to find 3 bets on each of these games, to not waste too much time on one. And keep going from there. So once I place a bet on a player, I don't place another bet on the player, because if there's an injury, like I don't want to hedge. I want to try to maximize my profit. So I'm going to just try to find different bets all over the place, to not hedge against myself. Let's see. DeAndre Ayton over 11.5 points. What do you think his line is at? His line is at minus 124. It's close. But let's see what happens when we plug it in. So we got minus 144 and 107. We have no vig odds of minus 122. So the odds we're getting of minus 124 are good, but they're not giving us an edge. So while it's more than likely that Ayton puts up more than 11.5 points based on this Pinnacle line, it's not enough for this to be profitable in the long run, because FanDuel still has this favored by a good enough amount. So let's keep looking. I like points, rebounds, and assist prop because they can be kind of all over the place. You get some good value there. So let's see. Killian Hayes, under 4.5 assists. I believe he's on the Pistons as well, but you can definitely place multiple bets on the same player. But see here, it's very juiced up. It's not an opportunity. Let's keep going. Malcolm Brogdon, under 4.5 assists. Is he here? Yep, but it's juiced up. again, so I'm just going to go over all of these. Robert Williams, under 7.5 rebounds, minus 166. Can we possibly get a good bet here? It's at minus 140. We're going to check this out. So minus 166 and 124. It's at minus 139. So not quite good enough. Again, if I'm not sure, I'm checking it just in case. Because if I do discover that a bet is positive EV and have enough of an edge for it to be worth placing, I'm placing it. I'm not hesitating about it. I'm doing this, trying to do this over and over again. Shaedon Sharpe, all assists. He's at 3.5. And it's very juiced. So once again, what about his under on his points? So this one doesn't look like I have a ton of opportunity right now. So I might just place this one in dip. So this one is minus 150 and 113. There you go, minus 127. So I am for sure going to be placing this. So here we go. We're going to place a bet on this. And just to show you, so slow down for a second here, but to show you exactly what kind of edge this gives us. So we bet this at minus 112, and the odds are telling us that this has a 56.1% chance of winning. So if we plug that percentage with our odds, wow, we're making $6.19 every single time that we're placing this bet. Now, this bet may or may not win on, on a bet by bet basis. Not every bet is going to win, but if you're placing bets just like these over and over again, where you have profit margins like this, it's pretty much guaranteed that in the long run you will make money. There is no way around it because of how sharp Pinnacle's information is, how accurate they keep their lines, how heavy this discount is. If we're only placing bets, and that's the key, we're only placing bets that fit these criteria that I'm showing you, then we will be profitable. All right, so enough for this game. We got a couple good bets there. So let's go back to this next game, the Milwaukee Bucks and Toronto Raptors. Okay. So here we go. Player props. All right, so first one we're going to check out, Bobby Portis, his under on his rebounds. You can look pretty much at any of these and determine, like if you like a prop, you can see if it's positive EV or not. You don't have to use FanDuel either. It's just my book of choice. And by me going by the higher odds, it just kind of saves time and energy for me. I don't have to think too much about what I want to place on. All right, so we're going to go to his alt rebounds. If he has it, yeah, he does. 7.5. All right, so it looks like it's appropriately priced right there. Damian Lillard under 6.5 assists. I've done this prop twice already. It keeps coming up. Not this time though. So it looks like the sportsbook is catching on. But the first two times I placed it, it went 1 for 2. But I guess FanDuel is starting to wisen up and realize it's not a sharp bet. What about Dennis Schroeder over 12.5 points? His line is at over 13.5. So let's go to his alt. I love FanDuel for their alt lines, but yeah, no value here. Damian Lillard over 37.5 PRA. We go to player combos. We're going to go all the way down to the alt section, find 37.5, and still no value. So you can kind of see that I'm looking at bets, they look interesting, and then I go to place them, and I don't end up placing them, and I just quickly move on and find something else that I know might have a chance. Oh, here we go. This is an interesting one. So Giannis over 4.5 assists is at minus 137 and 103. Plug that in right here. So the Novik odds are 117 each way, and we could get this at plus 126. So we're actually going to take his under here. And this is exactly what we're doing. We're mixing up favorites and underdogs just based on where the pendulum is swinging for that game. So there we go. And once again, to show you the advantage we're getting, we're going to take this 46.01%. Whoops. We're going to take this 46.01% and we're going to put our odds in there, and we're making almost $4 per bet. Every time we place this bet, we're making about $4. So we're going to place this bet as many times as possible. We're going to place this bet because it makes us money. That's really the bottom line here. The bet makes us money. We're going to place it. That's exactly what this whole system is about. Take all your sports knowledge away. It really hurts to have sports knowledge when it comes to being a good sports bettor, because you think that your knowledge of the league is better than the collective wisdom of the market. It's just a foolish way to think, really. Let's see. Jacob Pertl over 7.5 points at minus 167. Well, let's see. His line is at 8.5 up there. And do we even get a chance to get an alt on him? No, we don't. We don't get an alt chance on him. So we're going to go to a different guy. Chris Middleton over 8.5 points. I actually haven't been up in the loop with what's been going on. It looks like it's fair odds on that, but I'm surprised that line is so low. Maybe he's coming back from injury. Again, I'm not quite sure on there. We'll look at player threes too. It looks like the lines are moving a lot here. OG Anunoby about right where he's supposed to be. Pascal Siakam right where he's supposed to be. So yeah, it's not easy to find these props, but you think about the time it takes, when it comes to other potential money-making activities and how long this takes, and really it's a pretty good deal. Scotty Barnes assists. It's minus 143 and 107. I'm going to check that out real quick. So we get Novig odds of 121.81, and the odds we're getting it at are plus 122. So it's technically an advantage there. But if we put it in the calendar, or not the calendar, but the calculator, we'll see that we make about 8 cents every time we place this bet. So in the long run, we're going to be profiting, but this run is going to have to be really, really long for it to be anything meaningful. So it's just not enough of an edge for me to place it. And I like at least a 2% edge. I think a 2% edge is a good enough edge where it makes sense and it'll be worth placing it. All right. Pat Connaughton, his threes right there on cue. So let's start looking outside the box here. And we're just going to start looking at players I like. Let's see. Pascal Siakam, 20.5. Looks good there. Maybe some PRAs will give us a chance to make some money. Sometimes it helps to look at FanDuel's line to see if it's even worth checking for an advantage. Like Siakam is just, his line is point blank on the dot perfect. They're not dropping the ball on that one. We look at the players who are even on here. We have a player prop on Giannis, so we're not going to do anything there. Maybe Damian Lillard could provide some opportunity. All right, so his line's at 38.5 on here. So let's see his alts. I think we already checked his alts, actually. Maybe the line moved, but oh, okay. So here we go. His line did move. So it's at minus 103 and minus 128. Let's put those numbers in. So we're going to get a 52.53 chance for the favorite to win, which is the under. And I see we can get it at minus 104, and we have $3 of value here. So we're going to take this. So a couple of unders on two of the Bucks star players. And what does that tell me from a like from a sports perspective? I noticed this too. Is this worth placing? No, not really. What does it tell us from a sports perspective? Not much. They could easily have dominant games tonight, but what it does say about the sports betting market is that casual fans are currently overvaluing the Bucks superstars. And they're pricing the lines accordingly. So we could see maybe if we can get one more bet, maybe we can get one on one of the Raptors. Gary Trent, for example, nothing there. Dennis Schroeder, he's got some alts that we can look at. 22.5, but still nothing there. Scotty Barnes. His line is at 30.5. Can we find something here? Minus 112, nothing there. So I bet you if we keep trying, though, we can eventually find another advantage in this game. If we can't, we're just going to quickly move on. And honestly, I don't think we have anything here, but we could also look at other props like, Malik Beasley, possibly. I saw that one. So let's see, over 8.5. Do we have an option for him? I got to scroll all the way over. Find Malik Beasley. This is a guy even. There he is. Over 8.5. Ooh, okay. So let's see. His line is at minus 151 and 114. So minus 128. And we can get this line at minus 122. Is it positive EV? It is. It is. It hits that 2% threshold. So we're going to place it. And if Giannis and Lillard aren't doing their thing, well, someone's got to pick it up. So I guess Beasley is the guy. So those are my bets. I made 5 bets total for this slate. And here they are. And as you know, I also have this hockey bet, same strategy. But as we get closer to the 740 games and 810 games, I'll place more as it gets closer because you want to wait as close to the game time as possible because that is how you know you're getting the most accurate information. And these bets will come up all the time. So that's it. If you like this kind of content, I would love to hear it. I would love for you guys to keep watching. But anyway, this is Shoop signing out, and I hope you enjoyed.